Hey guys, how's it going? It's Linus, and today I'm going to talk about enchants and enchant groups, and what groups are and what they mean, and how to properly enchant your gear, and maybe to save you guys on some resources too. But let's get on into it. So here's my location. This is where you can enchant your gear at Eleanor at Sacrament, the main city. So for enchants, we have our basic items, our white items basically, and you can enchant these items at Eleanor. And when you enchant an item, they have a chance to, in particular cases, they can go to a blue enchant, which you get 3 enchants, but you only get 1 gem slot. If you look on here, your white items always come with 4 gem slots, but once they get enchanted, you lose all those gem slots besides 1. You always get 1, and you get 3 enchants. So if you get a purple enchant, you get 5 enchants, but you get a 1 negative enchant on there, and we're going to talk about that pretty soon. And in some particular, if requirements are met, you can make a legendary enchant with specific predetermined enchants on it. So, like this glimmering bulwark, if you enchant it, it turns into this, which is pretty nice. There's quite a few items that are like this. But anywho, let's go on into enchanting. So, of course, you talk to Eleanor, and you gotta have 50 coins. Talk to her. It's pretty simple. You go to enchant, you select your item. She's always gonna show you the available white items that you can enchant. So in this case, I would enchant this, and it would either go blue or purple. Depending on the white item, it could go legendary or whatever, but it depends. But anywho, let's talk about why some enchants, like some blue enchants, are actually better than purples, and why some purples are actually better than blues. So for instance, let's talk about weapons, actually. For weapons, you kind of always want to have a purple enchant, or purple enchants, because you get higher base enchants. Like, blues can only, let's just say that this is a blue weapon. You can only roll, actually, I'll show you right now. Alright, so whoever made this enchant list, I just want to say you're amazing. Well, let's talk about blue enchants, and let's talk about groupings too. So groupings are these right here. Let's say I roll, if I want to roll rune damage. So rune damage is going to only be 4 to 15%. This is a blue enchant. So the reason why you want to get a purple enchant on a weapon specifically is because the base damage can go higher, the enchant can go higher. So if we scroll down to or they call them plagued in this game, plagued enchants, and you go to rune damage, it goes all the way up to 20%. So that is why you would want a purple enchant on a weapon, because you can get more damage. And specifically, you either want to get large enemies, 30% you can get up to, or you can get 30% on full life or low health. But yeah, it's great. Alright, Zelena, so what about these groupings? What is it? So, if you're trying to make a build, let's just say around heat damage. You want heat damage, okay, and you get your heat damage. Let's say you want heat damage, and you want regular damage increase, 3 to 10%. Well, you're not going to be able to do that because heat damage is in the group A. And you can no longer have anything else that's in group A. So you can't have heat damage and cold damage. You can't have heat damage and lightning damage because that's A. So what you can have is heat damage and then either B, C, D, H, or K. So you can have heat damage and, let's say, healing, heat damage and item weight, and then you can have heat damage, healing, weight, and like stamina recovery. Those are your 4 enchants, and then your 5th enchant on a purple item is going to be a negative. So you get your plague downsides right here. and these are going to be all your negatives, so keep that in mind too as well. So let's say you're trying to plan a build around, let's just say heat damage. So you want to make the perfect gloves you can absolutely make. So what you would do is come down to here, under plagued enchants, come down to gloves, right down here. So you would want to get burn buildup, so that covers all that, and then you have your B, C, D, H, K's, and L's is your options right here. So you can either get burn buildup, or weight reduction, or damage taken decreased based on durability, or you can get health on kill, which is also very nice right here. So that would be your option. This all depends on what kind of build you guys are going for, but I'm just talking about theory crafting up a heat build right now. So if you're trying to make gloves that have burn damage and shock damage, it's not going to work because of these groupings are the same. So you can only have one of those groups. So hopefully that kind of clarifies it. I'll put a link in the description for this the document right here, and whoever made this, if you guys know who made this and want proper credit, I'll put credit under the description. Alright, so let's talk about why a blue enchant would be better than a purple enchant. Well, there's a couple of situations where that kind of occurs, and I can only think of a few right now, but one that comes to mind is pants. A blue enchant pants can roll movement speed. So you get movement speed up to 10%. Now, if you go to plague pants, they can't get movement speed. They can get movement speed. Wait, is this pants? No. Hold on, let me go down to pants. I'm sorry. They can get movement speed after a charged attack, but they can't get flat movement speed. So that's no bueno. And that is one of the examples of why you would want a blue enchant, like on pants, is because with a blue enchant, of course, you can get the movement speed. And then there's another example with shields. It would be pretty good to get a shield with damage increase 5 to 10% after 5 seconds. This top one. Damage increase 3 to 10% on durability. But the cool thing about having a blue enchant on a shield is you can roll increased durability 30 to 100%. So you're going to get a little bit more damage on here. But even though a shield, a plague enchant shield, can have a higher base, 5% more, but that extra durability, because you can't roll durability on a plagued shield. I'm sorry, scroll up here. Can't roll durability on a shield right here. So that extra durability is going to squeeze out a little bit more damage because it's based on the durability of the shield. So that's another example of why some blues are better than purples. Alright, let's get back into the game here. So let's just say you enchanted at the person and you only got 2 out of 3 enchants. How do you get the 3rd enchant? Well, what you do is you have to collect these out in the world, fallen embers. You can dig these up, you can get them in chests, you can get them in the crucible as rewards. Plenty of ways to get these. So what you do is you use them, and you can select a item, and you can enchant. You can either re-roll one of these, or you can add an enchant to it. And just like that. And let's just say I don't like the damage, or the 7 focus on damage dodge. So you can actually re-roll that. And that's how you do that. So what I would do, don't waste them like I did, but what I would do is, especially for a weapon, find a weapon that has a damage mod that you want already on it. And it's very important because it's going to save you a lot of resources. You want to find one that has the one that you want. Let's just say you want cold infused. See, if you didn't have the damage one that you have your A group, it's going to be really hard to roll what you want because you have to contend with all these possibilities right here. So you always want to find a weapon with the right enchant already on it. And then what you can do is focus on re-rolling all the other stuff because the variations are a whole lot less. It's a lot easier to get what you want after you already got the big one out of the way. Alright, Zelennis, so I rolled what I want, but it rolled the lowest possible thing. So let's just say this armor increase actually rolled a 10, but you really wanted 20 on these pants. So in the endgame, you can actually farm materials to increase this to the max. Now I'm going to make a separate video on that because I don't want to spoil anything, but there is a way to get everything maxed out on here. For instance, this helmet right here, even its gem slot, you can get it maxed out too with the correct items farmed with the plague system. But that's after you defeat the main campaign of the game. You'll unlock that system, but I don't want to like super go into it and spoil it for everybody. So yeah, this is an example of, you know, maxing out everything on there. So you essentially just want to roll the correct enchantments, and then you can worry later on maxing them out. And that is about it. Hopefully that kind of simplifies everything. All you really gotta do is just farm up a crap ton of fallen embers. And like I said, they're in chests around the world. You can dig them up and you can get them in the crucible. And if you don't know where the crucible is, there'll be a lady that you talk to somewhere around here, but she will tell you to come all the way into the I think it's the quarry or the stonemason shop or whatever, and she'll be in there, and that's where you can start doing the crucible. Fun place. It is kind of endgame, so you do have to be kind of geared for that place. But yeah, that's about it for enchanting. I figured I'd get that out of the way because they didn't have this option back in early access where you can actually re-roll these enchants, so this is pretty awesome that they implemented this feature. But anywho, you guys all have a fantastic day. Hopefully you guys understand. Actually, I should probably talk about the negative sides of the purple enchants. So you get these negative enchants, and you can re-roll them as many times as you want. But essentially, you kind of want to get something that has that doesn't really affect your build that much. Like, I don't really parry that much, okay? So having wait, do I have one that has parry? Having parry disabled on my gloves is not gonna really affect me. So you want to choose something that's not gonna affect your build. Now, of course, for my plague build, max focus would actually screw me over, but this is for my burn build. It's not gonna affect me. But you can also roll unrepairable, and then on your regular enchants you can roll indestructible, so it kind of cancels that negative out. So yeah, those are some things that you want to look for. Just kind of plan around it, and if it affects your build, you're just gonna have to keep rolling it until you roll something that doesn't affect your build. But yeah, that's about it. You guys all have a fantastic day. Peace.